Oh, Lord. What up, though? Good morning. Man, good morning. If you woke up, you're blessed and you should be trying to get it, man. I know, right? I tell you what, it ain't nothing like waking up in your neighborhood and you don't hear nothing but just leaf blowers and lawnmowers, and you don't hear no motherfucking shots. You don't hear no motherfuckers out here yelling. Man, what's up? There's a thing that motherfuckers, people don't understand, man. You'll pay for peace, man. You'll pay for peace. Peace is something that people don't understand, that if you get that, you're the richest motherfucker in the world, man. To be able to just sit on your porch, watch the motherfucking birds. You ain't got no whole bunch of cars racing up down the street. You don't hear no loud music. You don't hear no motherfuckers cussing and screaming. You don't see no badass kids walking up and down through your neighborhood because half of them can't afford to live in this motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? Because this shit just insane, man. The world getting to the point where, man, you can't even go out your house without thinking, you might have to put a motherfucker in the bag for the end of the day, man. Wake up with a smile on your face, go to church, be happy, everything going right. Then you pull over to the motherfucking gas station, get some gas on the way home, and some young motherfucker jump out with one of them ski masks on and tell you put your hands up, not knowing who you playing with, and next thing you know, you don't made him see fire, didn't see God. Now you're on the news, telling the news reporter, man, I was the one that done it. I put that young motherfucker in the bag. His mama should have taught him better. You know what I mean? I tell you, man, these folks they misguided and misled by so many stupid and I don't understand it, man. At one point in time in life, you got to get beyond trying to impress the next individual in the world that ain't gonna help you in no kind of way or benefit you in no kind of way, might not ever even meet you in life, man. You know what I mean? Them the craziest thing that people don't understand, that sometimes you got to just live your life the way you should live it, and don't focus on what other people in life are doing, man. Because I was taught a long time ago, man, what the next person eat don't make you shit. So why would you ever in life think that you got to get online and holler and hoop and holler and threaten folks? That's the worst thing that I see people do in life, man. People chase, they call it clout, but I'd say they chasing their death. Because a lot of motherfuckers that be online and they be trying to chase folks and, oh, you won't want none of me. We can get in the boxing ring and we want to fight, we want to wrestle. Everybody ain't with that type of shit, man. Everybody ain't with that homosexual ass touching and bumping. And some people gonna hit you with that Roman counter and just get it out the way, man. You know, because if I'm online and I'm speaking my opinion about anything that's going on in the world, that's my opinion. That ain't 100% guaranteed facts. You know, if I tell you something that's facts, that means I actually did some research on it, and that is facts to the best of my knowledge. Because I can read a book. I can read a book and don't mean just because that book says this and says that that's really what happened in history. You know what I mean? Because you got to think to yourself, if man wrote something, then man interpreted it the way that he wanted people to see it, the way he seen it. So you can never ever say that a law, say that the Bible, or anything that man wrote is actually factual. You know, you can't say it. It's not no way for you to honestly even see if it's true. You know, because the only thing you can do is go through your steps and your stages and do your research to, you know, dispute what that person's saying is not to be factual. And that's what they call debates and opinions. You know, a lot of people got opinions about a lot of different situations, and some people take what them people say is gold, only because they supposed to be a national news channel, or they supposed to be a TMZ. Somebody that a lot of people start believing that everything that come out them people's mouth is factual. That's why a lot of people all out, oh, they speaking fake news, they speaking fake news, because they're two different platforms speaking on two different situations of what people have gave them as what the facts are in any situation. When it comes to like President Trump, you are going to have people that's going to say, well, he's our president and he's this and he's not our president. But you also going to have people that's going to actually, they back him. They believe everything that he says is factual, and they believe everything that he's doing is making America more greater. But then you have other people that's on the other side that's going to say, well, he's doing this and he's doing that and he's doing this and he's doing that. But what people don't understand in the world is one president in one term didn't make up all these laws and rules that's happening now, man. They not. A lot of these rules and laws was already made up and already in somebody's back room just waiting on a whole bunch of people's signature on it, man. Them people was literally just waiting for the perfect time to step in and put their bills forward, man. Because way before Trump became the president, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee, they was already trying to pass laws, what they call English first, because they were saying that if you couldn't speak English, you shouldn't be in Nashville, Tennessee. But then when the Democrats was in control of the Senate, the House of Representatives, them folks kept that hush-hush and kept that silent, because they was like, most of the people that's undocumented are the people they might not be paying taxes, but they're spending their money in these cities. They going downtowns in these cities, they drinking all the Corona, they going out there having parties. You know, when you start thinking about the economy, a lot of them greedy people like Democrats, they was like, well, we can't eliminate our money. We can't stop our money. So we're not going to push the immigration thing, because if we push the immigration thing, we're going to push a lot of people that's spending money and revenue in our communities. But what had happened is it had got out of control, because you had so many people that started flocking to Tennessee, because in a lot of these other sanctuary cities, and the crime rate went up. And the reason the crime rate went up is because these sanctuary cities actually brought in and let anyone come in. Tennessee was like, you don't have to have a social security number. Come to Tennessee, you can get a driving license. And then when that backfired, because they end up catching a lot of individuals that was selling licenses to undocumented people, man. They had people in Nashville, Tennessee at the DMV that got caught and convicted for giving so many people that wasn't even from Tennessee. You had people coming from all around the United States coming to Tennessee, because they was telling you if you had a driving license, you was a citizen. You had documentation showing that you was linked to America. But what them folks did at the Justice Department and the Transportation Division, them folks seen so many, so many people that was getting so many documentations, and some of the people had the same last name, same first and last name on their driving license, and some of these people had the same address in Nashville, and then them folks were like, if you got 30,000 driving license that was issued in Nashville, Tennessee, ain't no way 30,000 people live in that one motherfucking house, man. And it came to the point where people started trying to figure out why the crime rate was going up, and then they started watching the news, and they started saying these young people of color at ages like 12 and 11 years old out here committing heinous crimes. And it was mostly like in Chicago, California, Houston. And the reason why them folk was focused on them states is because them are border states to like Mexico and other countries, you feel me? So it was like, how are these people getting into the country of the United States and not being detected over and over and over? And that's when them folks was like, we're gonna build a wall to separate us from these different countries, because most people know this, if you're in California, you can literally, they got a gate between you and you can see Mexico. You can see Mexico from your street to their street. So only thing that them folks figured out was they started building tunnels to go from that house. They really wasn't numbered 4 houses down, but they in 2 different countries, because it ain't no separating 2 countries, America and the Mexico. Is just a fence. You feel me? That's the only thing that separates it. So then you started watching people in the world, the political people, that was like, we got Trump running as president, and he's running on a moratorium that he's going to do massive deportations and bring down the crime rate. And then when people was like, them folk went after Trump so hard that they were filing charges after charges after charges, and they were saying, well, he can't become the president because of a felon, a convicted felon, but can't be a president of the United States. That's a lie. We see it now. Even though that it's wrote in the Constitution that says he can't, when it boils down to it, money talks and bullshit walks, and any situation can be bent to the rules of a person that's wealthy. And that was shown in this situation. It was built to the point where you had a wealthy man and a political person that so many people in the United States put their money, their time, and their effort in to get him into the presidency, just to show the world that laws are only meant for people without money. Laws are only meant to be when you get punished for something that they want to punish you for. You know what I mean? And you sit back and you think that these folks say, well, a convicted felon can't have a firearm and you can't do this, but then you got a president, United States president of America, he's got the codes and keys to the biggest motherfucking weapon in the world, the nuclear war is. So when you tell a person that gets pulled over with a fucking 4.5 or something like that, any kind of firearm in their car, and they just trying to protect themselves, and you want to take that person to jail, and that person ain't committed a crime, then y'all need to reflect on that we have a president that's a convicted felon, and he possesses weapons every fucking second of the day. Every second. And I'm not knocking the man because he showed the game. Trump ran his first presidency on, I do what I want, I say what I want, and when he won, he was like, damn, I actually won, talking shit to the world. I went out there and told, he went out there and told every motherfucker in the world, fuck you, I ain't riding with you. He ran the first, a lot of people don't understand is when Trump first ran for the president the first time, dude ran as an independent because the Republicans didn't want to back him and the Democrats didn't want to back him. The liberals didn't want to back him because he was like, fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans, fuck you liberals. I'm a rich motherfucker and fuck all you too. And that's what Trump was doing. And when he actually won, he was like, damn, I'm the president? Because we had already seen wrestlers and actors run for governors like Arnold Schwarzenegger and fucking Jesse Ventura. So politics became more of what you would call, if you're a popular type person, you need to get in politics even though you never ever did any kind of politics. You ain't never ever been in no law school. You ain't never ever did nothing in life but been an entertainer. You know what I mean? And it showed that a lot of them other people that literally become politicians when they go to school and go to college, because a lot of people go to college and then become lawyers, and some of them just go to college just so they can get right to the next extra people. So because in their mind, they thinking one day they're going to be a senator, a governor. They thinking in politics because politics is where the most money's at. I don't care or if you are just say that you are a person that runs around in a city and you does codes. If you doing codes for people, and meaning that you walk up to people's buildings, just building homes, and you got the ability to stop them just by what you say they doing wrong, then you figure out a way that you are a powerful motherfucker just with a pen, and you start taking advantage. Some people take advantage of that and start extorting people for money, and then you have a lot of people start building homes, under quality buildings, and when they collapse and bridges collapse and shit, you got to go back to who was the person that inspected the building, who was the person that signed off on this. You know what I mean? And that's like laws and bills and all them type of things, man. You have a lot of people that say they're for the people, but they really just for themselves. They really just for themselves. People, you never get a person that actually goes into politics with the thought of when they career over it that they gonna be like a Martin Luther King or somebody that was literally out there doing things for free and giving money and trying to fight for equal and civil rights. Politicians don't do that, man. Politicians on Democrat side or Republican sides or liberals, they can't pick a part where they can say that I'm going to be right for this and I'm going to be right for that. You had the Democrats, and it backfired because the Democrats backed the BLM movement when these folks was out in the streets and they was terrorizing, they was setting fires. Not all of them. But anytime you have protests and stuff in the streets where you say, and this is what people don't understand, America's always been afraid of an angry black person. An angry black person is worse than any other individual on this world in them other people's eyes, man. And even when you're not angry, I could be having a conversation with one of them, and next thing you know, they telling me I'm being aggressive, and I'm talking to them like this. Because they feel like I'm being aggressive just because of my skin color. My skin color is what intimidates them to the point where they feel like that I might punch them in the face when I'm looking at them like, man, we're having a general conversation about something and I might not agree with you, but why do you feel like that it might get physical? You know what I mean? And that's the crazy thing about it. And that's why I trip off the internet and I look at this and I said, I'm not going to be another one of them dudes, man. I'm not going to be another one of them dudes that get on a podcast and they put me in front of some nutting-ass gang member or some nutting-ass other individual, and I'm sitting here yelling at him and he's yelling at me, and I'm threatening him, he's threatening me. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? You do enough of that in the streets when you put yourself in situations like that. You should be on the internet having a conversation about different things in life, even how you enjoying life, or how life is doing you, or what you see that's going on in the world that you think that other people need to pay attention to. You know, because a lot of people don't pay attention or even watch news. They only catch little clips and stuff on TikTok or catch clips on YouTube, or they catch clips when somebody, one of the FYP pages, throw it out there at them, and it might not be something that they wanted to see, but then next thing you know, they hear Trump giving away stimulus checks, and then next thing you know, everybody on the internet talking about Trump's our guy. He's giving away stimulus checks. He's finna get money. He's finna get this. You know what I mean? And people take advantage of situations and wonder why. Yeah, you think you got away with scamming something, but in the end, them folk come and bump your ass. And you didn't even take advantage of the situation where you took that money and invested into something that was going to make money. So when them people came to you, you could at least give them their money back. Because what a lot of people don't understand is, with them, a lot of people be like, I don't understand how that person stole $300 million and he only got 5 years because he gave that money back. A lot of times them folks don't want to put a motherfucker in jail. They just want their lick back, man. They want their lick back. They either want The average motherfucker with money, they want you to be able to pay the money back you stole. And then I see that a lot of motherfuckers in the streets that get popped, them folks make motherfuckers put motherfuckers on motherfuckers to equal up the same amount they got caught with, man. These folks out here in the world, and people don't understand this until you start watching the news and start hearing these stories where these folks break it down to you and tell you these things. Like, it was a story in Chicago yesterday where these folks, these young people was down there. Of course, they was shooting up, bang, bang. You know, somebody got put in the bag. It ain't nothing new in Chicago. But what I was focused on was that when they was telling the story in the news, they said that the assailants, the suspects, was caught on undercover FBI cameras that was put in the neighborhoods. And a lot of people wouldn't have focused on when them people said that. But then I started doing some research and I found out that they got so many cameras the size of your fingernail. And like when it used to be, they had to get on telephone poles and put these big old cameras, you damn near know they was looking at you. But now they got cameras that they can put on stop signs, they can put on license plates, and these folks literally in Chicago, the FBI have started, what they do is they have neighborhoods and gangs under surveillance, and these folks got cameras in flower pots, these folks got cameras in restaurants. You know what I mean? Some of these restaurants don't even know that these police got many cameras, but they put them in their stores in the hoods because they say that if this is y'all block, I mean, we're going to catch every fucking person that come in this store and we analyze their face and what they got on. And then them folks actually go back and start piecing crimes together in them neighborhoods. And then they go down them lines, and them young motherfuckers think just because they got their face covered up, what they do is they catch them motherfuckers coming in the store with them clothes on. Same clothes on, same outfit. They go to their Instagram, their YouTubes, and they screenshot that same outfit that they had on. And they say, well, that motherfucker had this outfit on with that same ski mask on, and we can prove because he was in his store right here at this time with that same outfit on, with them same two motherfuckers with the same two outfits on, that's sitting there in this surveillance picture. I was like, wow. Technology made a person, if you thinking that you want to sell anything in the streets and think you're going to get away with it, technology is beyond you, man. Technology beyond. You can't get away with it, man. It ain't no way. I don't give a fuck who you think you is, how smart you is, what you think you can set up a trap house over here, a stash house over here. You can meet a motherfucker over here, talk to a motherfucker over here, only fuck with these motherfuckers over here. But when it boils down to it, you could be sitting there beside a motherfucker that's already working with the police to get you and a whole bunch of other motherfuckers, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. You know what I mean? You don't even know. And people that don't watch the news is not paying attention. These folks are telling you when they busting cartel leaders, they tell you how they doing it. These folks ain't hiding the secret to something that you don't need to know. These folks are telling you, this is how we pop this person. We tricked this person into getting his friend to call him. Instead of him going to meet his friend was coming down the street and the police pulled him over. Like a motherfucker don't know that the last person you talked to was the one that set you up. And then these folks tell you that they got cameras in motherfucking the size of the fingernails, and they tell you in stories, and that's what people don't understand, they tell you that the FBI got hidden surveillance cameras watching people every fucking day of your life. Everybody. And then when Shaq them came up with Ring Cam, they came up with a bad motherfucker, and people was thinking to themselves, I can watch my home from where I'm at, and I can Wi-Fi. But you wasn't thinking that if you Wi-Fi your cameras from your home, that means anybody can link into your Wi-Fi and watch your cameras at your home. And they told you this. These folk told you about ring door cams, but people that don't commit crimes, they like, shit, I don't care who look at my camera. But a person that commits crime go buy these ring cams, they go buy all this shit that's wireless. It's a reason why people had wire cameras. It's a reason why rich people, when you go to their homes and they got surveillance, they don't got wireless surveillance. They got wire. Because they the only one that want to have access to them cameras, man. You know what I mean? And if people was to listen to the news and watch the news, even if it's a couple seconds of a day, Google something, read something, do something besides sit there and think that you about to get away with everything you doing today, when if you look at something on the news, it might make you say, oh, no, I'm good. I'm done with that shit. I'm going to back the fuck out the way because I might get put in one of them type of situations. You know what I mean? Because don't nobody ever say they want to be in a situation. And it's always some fuck motherfucker in the world that's willing to put another motherfucker in a situation when a motherfucker should be putting that sucker in a bag. But you got to get to the point in life where you feel like that you can try to reach out to the world on a whole nother platform. And that's where my platform come in, man. I tell the news. You know what I mean? Yeah, once in a while I chime in and talk funky to one of these people in the world. But most of the time, I'm just really I'm the middleman of the news to the people that's not watching the news. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they look at mine, they like, man, he's funny as fuck. He's a comedian. I'm all that and above, and thank you. But at the same time, I'm just happy that you're watching. I'm just happy that you paying attention to my page. And if I had to bring a little comedy to my page for people to actually be attracted to my page and watch what's going on in the world with the news, with the people, the kids, is places that you don't go because them folks are out there doing things to people that for no reason. You have a woman that was walking down the street in New York City, didn't do nothing, nobody, and 3 little young 14, 12, and 16-year-old children walked up with a thing of battery acid and threw it in her face, man. And now this woman permanently blind. She had over 20, 30 surgeries, and they let them juveniles out with a slap on the wrist, man. This woman is disfigured for the rest of her life, but the juvenile laws are so fucked up that these young motherfuckers woke up one day and went out there and dismembered a person that they didn't even know just because they felt like it was funny how it might go viral. You know what I mean? That's why I say, man, you gotta pay attention to everything that's going on in the world, because people do stupid shit thinking it's gonna go viral if they walk up and you walking down the street and you old and they punch you in the face and you fall. I say, I don't give a fuck how old you is, if you're in a wheelchair, a rocking chair, whatever. If you're walking around, man, you need to have that hammer on you and have that Roman candle and let that young motherfucker, when he swing, when he think he coming up and you don't know, what people don't understand is when you've been in the world like motherfuckers like me, you got eyes in the back of your head. You never ever got to turn around because you looking and feeling the next motherfucker present around you. And when a motherfucker get too close, you know it. You feel it. It's like when you in a car and that motherfucker get too close to another car, that motherfucker say, that's the way I feel. When a motherfucker get too close to me, I feel it. And I'm like, man, what's up? What's going on? You know what I mean? I'm just off the wall, like, man, what's going on? You know, I ain't saying we got no problem, what's up? I'm just like, hello? We all right? You know what I mean? Because sometimes a person's reaction to a situation can make a whole nother situation become more than it should be. Because a lot of people that might be in a store, that might be behind you, they might not be on no fuck shit or no bullshit, but they might just be behind you, and you don't turn around and tell them, man, you too motherfucking close, and it ain't even that serious. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just turn around and be like, hey, excuse me? You know, motherfucker, oh, I'm sorry. You feel me? A lot of people understand that we live in a world where everybody ready to snap, crackle, and pop. Everybody is ready to snap, crackle, and pop. You talking about a motherfucker, I was reading something this morning where they said the average household got to be making $240,000 a year to support a family of 4. What? Is they talking about a family of 4 motherfuckers that's working? Because If they talking about a mama and a daddy that's going to work that's making $200,000 a year just to survive, man, y'all folks asking motherfuckers to go out and commit crimes. Y'all motherfuckers is playing. You know what I mean? Because they ain't actually putting them type of jobs out there no more. But see what it is, you got the internet to the point where a lot of people have became social media influencers. You got more influencers that make more money than doctors, man. You got influencers that make $1 million a month just from subscribers and stuff like that. Subscribe and like my page, man. Subscribe and like my page. Subscribe to all my pages. Because when you subscribe to my pages, what you do is you support me because it ain't number $2.99, man. $2.99 a month for an individual that's going to always go live at least once or twice a day. Have intelligent conversation about all the things going on in the world. You know, and also be able to link in every time because I'm about to start putting content up, and the only way people going to be able to see it because I'm going to have subscribers only. You know what I mean? And not to be, you know, that type of person, but when you do what I do and put up as many views and put up as many videos, I put up 40, 50, 60 videos a day, man. And I it's like a drug to me. It's addictive. You know what I mean? And it's a good thing because it keeps me out the way of the bullshit in the world. I don't rip and run. I don't do this. The only thing I do is focus on what this is. I focus on the news. I got 3-4 laptops. I got my tablet going. Even when I'm talking to y'all, I'm actually listening to stories in my ear of crime that's going on in every state. You feel me? You know, because I wanna be that person, man. And if you work hard enough on anything, you gonna succeed in it, man. These folks ain't out here just giving people, you know, buying podcasts and just because you got to be able to have a conversation. You got to be able to connect with the people in the world, man. You got to be able to have conversations beyond being around a whole bunch of gang members or being around a whole bunch of nuttin' individuals. That you know, that's content. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna knock it as content, but that ain't the kind of content that gives people a whole bunch of money, man. That's why you ain't seeing none of these people that's actually, people say went viral. Yeah, you might go do 1,000 podcasts and make $1,000 here, $500 here, $800 here. You know what I mean? And them people ain't doing nothing but asking them individuals the same thing over and over and over. I feel like they wasting their money, man. I feel like if you ain't working like I do every day, you know what I mean? I don't care if don't nobody ever give me that insane bag as long as I got a bag. You know, and as long as I've been on the internet going hard for like the last 2 years, and them folks showing me love, man. What's up, Chicago? Them folks showing me love, man. The world showed me love, man. I get money from people sending me money on Venmo, Cash App, and I don't even be asking for no money. People just see it, but bam. I wake up, I might have $500 in Cash App from somebody I don't even know. Bam. $300 from somebody I don't know. Bam. $50 from somebody I don't know. Bam. I say thank you. You know what I mean? I be blessed, man. Because people say, when I listen to your content, man, you make me laugh, but you also keep me aware of what's going on in my city, because it's insane that I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and I tell better news about people in Memphis, Chicago, California, and I tell stories that's happening on people's streets that they actually live on, and they ain't even know it happened. I had this woman took a screenshot and put it in the comment box so people wouldn't think she was lying. She literally lived 3 houses down from where these folks literally knocked off 3 motherfuckers in the house, but she was at work and didn't even know nothing about it. She didn't even know somebody knocked off 3 motherfuckers 3 doors down from my house until she went on my page and seen it, and she was like, man. She was like, how the hell did you know that? And the people ain't even start paying attention, man, I'm going to tell you this. All these platforms are mocking my platform. And I'm not just trying to talk that shit. If you look at my platform where I talk about nothing but the news, now you got other platforms that wasn't even, you got Shannon Sharp talking about crime in Memphis. You got D.L. Hughley talking about crime in Memphis. Them folks is literally the Breakfast Club breaking down all the stories that I tell. If you go on my page, man, it's insane. Them folks try to catch up with me a lot of times, man. I've been posted a story about like the Honey Bun dude 3-4 days ago, and now Breakfast Club on there talking about it. And I don't knock them because all content comes from somewhere, and it's all about who puts it up first. You feel me? You know what I mean? You put it up first, then, you know, sometimes you might get a chance to go viral with that video. Because I got some videos that's, you know what I mean, that's insane. I'm talking about 4-5 million fucking views on Instagram. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, that's insane, man. It's insane. You feel me? But when I see them views go up like that, what I do is it makes me motivated to go find the next hot story. Not go make up one. Not make up now. A lot of these motherfuckers make up stories. I go out there and try to find the next hot story to make a motherfucker know that, you know, this is what I do. This is what I do. I don't, you know what I mean? I ain't on here for to go tell no lies or nothing. You know what I mean? See, that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people get online and they trying to become somebody they not. They call themselves reporters when they ain't doing nothing but doing what you would call stenography. They literally ain't doing nothing but reading other people's content to people that's in their audience. You know, and that's why a lot of times when them folks put up videos and they got 1 million subscribers, they don't get nothing but 20,000 views. You know what I mean? That's why I say you just gotta watch how people, and that's why I say if people pay people money to be on podcasts by how many views they actually put up on their own pages with their own content, then it'd be insane. The booking would be insane. Because if I had to be booked right now, I wouldn't take no less than 5,000 to 10,000. Period. No less than 5,000 to 10,000. Because I'm putting up 2 million views a week on the internet. I'm talking about just on individual platforms. I might put up 2 million on TikTok, I'm at damn near 5 million in the last 2 weeks on Instagram. You know what I mean? So I don't care nothing about that. You know, my motivation is my kids, man. And all my kids grown except one. But my goal is to make sure that they don't never, ever have to go through the bullshit I went through. You know what I mean? And I put a lot of work in. People say, man, you look like, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I do. I try to get, and this is what a lot of people, like I have so many people in my comment box now, and this is what I tell them. They be like, why you don't put up no news about the white people and the other people? I said, man, you must not look at my news, man. You must not look at my page for real. You caught one article and you sit there and took that as that's what my platform's about. When my platform got all colors, all stories, political, crime, celebrity, trials. That's my whole platform, man. It ain't my platform and 5, 6 other people. It's just me. Me and me. You know what I mean? I do my own research, so can't nobody say that I was wrong. I pull up my own content, and I say my own words. So can't nobody ever come back and say that, oh, you said this. I know what I said. I know what I said, and I stand by it, man. I ain't never trying to be one of them people that have to go online and retract nothing that I say. That's why if I had to wait 3-4 days to put up something, and yeah, I might not be the first one to put it up, but I'd rather be delayed and put up the right story than be trying to be the motherfucker and put up the bullshit and somebody have to come back and somebody say, well, that ain't what happened because you could have waited a couple of more minutes or a couple more hours But you strolling through your FYP page and you see something, you like, oh shit, let me get on there. Oh yeah, this dude, yeah. Then you jump the gun and then you find out it was a lie. You find out it was a lie. That's the only reason that clunker went viral, because when he started knowing that he was going down, Barbecue Blue started doing things to make people feel like that they started talking about him. Went in a barbershop and said he fell asleep and somebody hit him in the head with that hammer a couple times and he posted it for 2 seconds and went off. Then y'all folk went on the internet, and it was a lie. Because anything that ever happened to any celebrity or anybody, if that motherfucker ain't on the real news, then it didn't happen, man. If these folks say that this motherfucker here passed away and it ain't on the real news, then it ain't true, man. I ain't talking about no TMZ, because they be wrong. Them folks always talking about, well, we made a mistake, and they got a lawyer on their platform. They got 2-3 lawyers on their platform. And them folks will be talking about the law and be wrong, because they'll be like, well, we're in the state of California and we were just really just talking about the law in another state and we don't study that law, but we know in California they wouldn't have went. But they said something. That's like a lot of these people that's speaking right now about the P. Diddy situation and what Diddy got going on. Everybody's just giving their opinion. Don't no motherfucker know what them 12 jurors sitting in that motherfucking room thinking right now. Don't nobody, everybody got their opinion of what they thinking. You know, as an analyst like me, I actually watched the story. I actually been following the trial. I've been following the evidence that they put up. And my conclusion is, way before they started dropping charges, that they didn't have no case. They didn't have no case against Diddy, man. If it's a crime about being a freak, then shit, he guilty. But they didn't have no witnesses to say they kidnapping victim, get on the stand and say she wasn't a victim. And if you was kidnapped, you had 20 years that you left and came back and left. This is casting. And that's what is at the end of the closing argument. This folks said, any motherfucker that say that they don't want to be with somebody and they actually left multiple times and went on about their business, and then we show you a text where that person talking about, hey baby, I miss you. Can I come? Can you fly me to London where you at? Because they missing that bag. They missing that money. You know what I mean? And that's what them folks showed in this trial. That Diddy, everybody that Diddy that testified against Diddy or testified in his trial didn't really testify against him. There's a lot of celebrities gave up information against Diddy, but them folk couldn't use it. See, the thing about people don't understand about any court of law, you gonna have the DA that's gonna be trying to fight to keep certain evidence in, and you gonna have the motherfucking defense team that's gonna try to suppress everything that's in that motherfucker in any technicality, man. That's what lawyers do. Lawyers is not gonna go in that motherfucker. If you paying them folks well, they gonna make sure that any little fuck up that them folks made, that they don't win in the end, man. Sometimes you might have to go to jail for a year or two. Sometimes you might. Shit, but in the end of the story, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna end up with some money. Because they was wrong. And that's like Diddy. Diddy gonna, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, and this is from what I've been watching, I think Diddy gonna be set free. And you got these lawyers over here talking about, well, in a RICO case, you gotta be found guilty. If you found guilty of one crime, then you found guilty of all of them. That ain't true, man. And the reason I say this, not because I'm an attorney, but I say this because I watched the YSL RICO trial, and they didn't do them folks like that. And you had Paige Whitaker, the judge was making sure that they followed every law when it came to the RICO. And I know this is a federal and a state RICO, but RICO is a RICO. And a RICO case is when you come and prove that a person was actually running a criminal enterprise. I don't give a fuck if it's gangs, criminal enterprise. I don't give a fuck if it's sex trafficking enterprise. I don't give a fuck if it's drug enterprise. If them folk can prove that you was doing it all to profit in some kind of way, not just by money, but by power or anything, then they can convict you. Them folk didn't show that. Them folk didn't prove that in P. Diddy trial, man. Dude paid for everything. Dude didn't extort damn person. Them folk could have found. They could have. I tell you this. If they would have charged Diddy with assault and battery with Cassidy, he would have did 5 to 10 for aggravated assault because they had it on camera. He couldn't have did it. He couldn't have beat that. But instead of them folks charging him with that, them folks used that as evidence in a trial showing that he was an aggressive person and he was using intimidation. But then when Diddy's lawyers got up there, they was like, how can you intimidate a person when they got the will to leave anytime they choose to? How can you kidnap a person when you in a whole nother country and this person texting you from California talking about, please fly me out? That's not trafficking when a motherfucker asks you to fly them out. If that's the case, there's a lot of motherfuckers out here trafficking these sluts on Instagram and Texas and all that, because it's a lot of guys be on here talking about they getting flown out. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand. Sometimes a motherfucker, I don't did it myself. I ain't never flew no motherfucker out, but I don't gave motherfuckers money and didn't even expect nothing in return. Females. I don't gave a female $300-400 and didn't even expect nothing in return. You know what I mean? Just because they was a real motherfucker and they came to me some real conversations instead of coming to me on some fuck shit. Cause you can't manipulate a motherfucker, man. You can't. I'm from Nashville, man. Nashville, Tennessee. But you know what I mean? That's why I say, man, a lot of people in this, you see these people out here, man, ain't nothing changed but the individuals in life, man. These folks use the same kind of watered down ass conversation that people been using forever. They just find they mark, or people will call them they duck. Because a motherfucker told me if a motherfucker walk like a duck, then they'll quack like a duck. And that's male or female, man. You feel me? That's real shit. You know, and a lot of these motherfuckers out in the world, people see an old person, an older person, especially what you call a hood motherfucker with a whole bunch of tattoos on their face and all that old stupid ass shit. You see that motherfucker, they think, oh, he's been in prison. Oh, he's a hood motherfucker. You don't even know that motherfucker might be a rat and a coward. And that shit on his face might be paint. And a lot of people don't understand this. It trips me out with this internet shit. I be tripping because I be watching it. You had these so-called Inglewood Crips that ain't never ever lived in California. Never been to Inglewood, but you're an Inglewood Crip. You ain't never been to Chicago, but you're a G. I don't understand that. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand that a lot of motherfuckers out in the world misled because these children out here nowadays, man, they look up to gang members. I ain't even gonna call them suckers gangsters. Cause a gangster don't go out here and ride around and stolen cars and, you know what I mean, shoot up schools, shoot up kids. Gangsters don't move the way these motherfuckers move. Real gangsters move quietly and silently, man. A motherfucker that ever wanted some money, he know he don't gotta be flashy to get it, man. Fuck all that. When you flashing, that's when people start watching you, man. Like Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas probably would have never got noticed until he put that mink coat on at that fight. And them folks said, who is that nigga over there with that mink coat? With all that jewelry on. People bring attention to themselves by trying to look something that they not, man. You looking like you got a lot of money. You looking like you selling dope. You acting like you selling dope. Then somebody gonna think you selling dope. And you better hope it's the police, not the robbers. Cause the robbers gonna take you somewhere, and then if you ain't got what they want, they might take your life. All because you stunned with fake jewelry and a whole stack of motherfucking about $1,000 worth of ones with 2-3 20s on each end. Holding up your head talking about I'm talking on the phone. That shit get your head blowed off, man. They get your head blowed off, man. Don't know motherfucker. I ain't never seen a person that say they rich that want more attention, man. You know what I mean? You know, people say, man, you wearing this and you wearing that. Man, I wear what I want to wear. But I tell you what, I can buy what the fuck I want to buy and go where the fuck I want to go when the fuck I want to go. And I own my own motherfucking house. And I pay all my bills myself. I don't got no wife to live with me. I don't got no motherfucker live with me. I own my own house, pay my own bills, and all my kids still look good and feeling good, man. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about going to buy the newest car, even though I got an Audi. I got a 2025 Audi sitting in my driveway. I don't give a fuck about that shit. You know what I mean? It's because materialistic shit don't mean nothing to me, and sometimes this shit bring attention that I don't really want. You know what I mean? That I really don't need. But I'm going, you know what I mean? When you ain't in the streets and you ain't in the way, you don't got to worry about that shit. I don't give a fuck about these suckers in the streets. The police was the only thing I was worried about. You know what I mean? Fuck these suckers. I can deal with any motherfucker come my way think they going to take something from me, because I'm going to take their life. I ain't going to bite my tongue, man. I'm not. Some people try to bite their tongue and be like, oh, if a motherfucker do this and they do that. No, ain't no if. It's just when. When you do that, you expect for me to do this. When you do that, just expect for me to do that. That's what, some shit ain't even got to be spoken. You know what I mean? A lot of motherfuckers don't understand that, man. You don't got to tell a motherfucker what you going to do to them when they already know in their mind that if you do this to that motherfucker, this what's going to happen, man. This what's going to happen. It might not happen today. It might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen next year. But eventually, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? And if you come at that motherfucker the wrong way that day, it's going to happen right then and there. And what I'm talking about, you're going to see fire, then see God. And I ain't doing no running, man. I ain't running. I'm calling 911 and telling them I got you one. I'm telling them I got you one, man. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers used to tell motherfuckers, man, run from the police. If you shoot somebody, man, if I pop a motherfucker, man, I know I'm going to be in the right, so I ain't running no motherfucking where. The police ain't my motherfucking enemy. You suckers in the streets, my enemy. You the motherfuckers working with the police. You the motherfuckers that do shit for the police. The police doing their job. Shit. And when I'm going to make sure they do their job, when you run up and think you're going to take something, in that 2025 Audi, I'm going to up that motherfucking Roman calendar, and them folk going to think it's 4th of July because I'm going to open your face up like a pumpkin. Them folk going to think that they ain't going to be able to show your face in that box, man. They going to have to give you that $4.99 cremation special, because I'm going to cremate your face off the wall. I'm going to make that motherfucker melt. I ain't popping you in the shoulder, in the leg. If I hit you once in the leg, I'm hitting you the rest till you... I don't seen too many people, man. I got a cousin that was fucking with a female, older female. He was young, man. He was like 17. And the female, she was like about 26, 27 years old. I already had a motherfucking a dude that was a psychopath that was in prison. And my cousin was working at a motherfucking Arby's. At Arby's, man. And that nigga got out of prison and went to try to take his gal back, but my cousin had already made a baby with her, and he's 17, she grown, she should have went to jail. But him and my cousin, you know what I mean, I remember one day he came to me and we was talking, because, you know, he wasn't that type of dude, he wasn't no street dude, he was an actual person that was supposed to be great in life. And he came to me one day after he had popped the dude. He shot him. Him and the dude got to arguing, he popped him in the arm. And I was talking to him this before he went to work. I said, man, you know that dude got a history. He an older nigga. I said, man, I was about 15. I said, man, you know dude got a history of popping folks, killing folks and shit. I said, man, he said, man, I popped him. I don't think he gonna come back, man. He know I'll pop him now. No, man, sometimes you pop a motherfucker, you ain't doing nothing but make a motherfucker mad. You pop a motherfucker, you supposed to put that motherfucker in the bag. My motherfucking pops told me, man, that if you pop a motherfucker, you keep popping and popping and popping and popping till that motherfucker ain't here no more. Because what happened with my cousin is that same motherfucker that he popped in the arm, the police didn't take my cousin to jail because they knew dude's story. They knew he just got out of prison. That nigga pulled up to the drive-thru and my cousin, and he gunned him down. Gunned him down. In the park. He got my cousin down in the parking lot. 18 years old. Grown man gunned him down about a bitch. Just because that nigga couldn't let that bitch go. But that's why I say, man, you got to be able to, you got to ask people who they fuck with, what they back. See, people get so quick to jump into bed with people and so jump in relationship with people that you need to ask people some things. Who's your baby daddy? And it ain't because you scared of no motherfucker. It's just because you don't want to put yourself in a situation for nothing. You know what I mean? Ain't no pussy worth you getting killed for. You know what I mean? Ain't no dick worth you getting killed for because somebody got a silly ass baby mama or a fucked up baby daddy. So you can just nip it in the bud from the beginning just about who you fuck with. Do your background checks on the people before you start being in relationships and fucking them and catching feelings, because you never know, somebody else might still got feelings for that motherfucker and won't let go. I asked the motherfucker quick, man, who your stalk is. I ain't got no stalking. Bitch, who your stalk is. What motherfucker call you every day? What motherfucker text you every morning and say good morning to you? I want to know who that motherfucker is. Because if a motherfucker texts you every morning, good morning, every morning, that's your stalker. You know what I mean? I don't even talk to him, but every once in a while, you talking to him, though. Sometimes motherfucker don't understand that when you talking to a person, you give a person a thought that you gonna fuck them or fuck with them or be with them, and you taking their money and you taking their gifts, shit, you inviting yourself into a situation when you say no. You inviting yourself. That's why I say, man, don't take shit from people if you ain't got no good intentions, man. And if a motherfucker give you something, they shouldn't have no fucked up intentions. You know what I mean? If I give you something, I give you something. I don't give a fuck if you don't pay me back. You know what I mean? Just don't ask me to borrow something. Because when you ask to borrow something, that means we enter into an obligation of where you supposed to pay me back. You know what I mean? Just ask me for it. And if I say, yeah, you can have this $50, this $100, that means I gave it to you. You ain't never got to worry about it, because I hate people when they be like, they don't never say nothing to you until they bump into you and they be like, oh man, I know I owe you that. I got you, man. I got you. And you think yourself, man, you may have forgot about it, and then you thinking like, man, what the fuck? And then you remember it, and you're thinking like, damn, I told that fool I didn't care nothing about that. But now you constantly keep bringing it up every time I see you. Now you pissing me off. You know what I mean? You got me thinking like, damn. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, I don't see motherfuckers walk up. I don't been playing poker in gambling houses and shooting dice in gambling houses. And I watch a motherfucker walk in there and catch a motherfucker with a whole bunch of chips and money in front of him and take all of them because he owed that man that bag from the street. Talking about, nigga, you in there gambling and you owe me $30,000. You in there shooting dice on live, talking about you living your best life, buying your bitch Birkin bags and purses and shoes and cars, and you owe me $20,000. I've seen it, man. I've seen it. I've seen motherfuckers walk in rooms and smack the taste out of a motherfucking grown-ass man mouth that call himself a killer because that trick playing with that man's money, man. I've seen it. It ain't no question. That's why I tell motherfuckers, man, you can play with certain motherfuckers, but certain motherfuckers you can't play with. And some motherfuckers that look like they humble, look like they won't do something to you, be the one that's gonna knock your goddamn ass off. 9 times out of 10, the motherfucker that's screaming and hollering ain't gonna be the one that knock you off the wall. The motherfucker gonna knock you off gonna be the motherfucker that's gonna be looking at you talking about, boom, and still have that same look on their face. Like, dude, why you gotta do that, man? You know what I mean? Nah, I ain't got no sister on here. I don't have no biological sisters on here on NAM platform. It might be somebody on this motherfucker that sound like me. It's a lot of female versions of me, and I congratulate them, man. They ain't mocking me. They ain't. Some of them might have fell out. Some of them might be following the way I'm doing it, but they doing it good. I don't never give a motherfucker, man. If a motherfucker doing good on the internet, being a content creator, man, and they ain't messy, and they literally getting down to the business of what their content is, man, I congratulate them folks. And if you stand out from all other content creators, man, I'll watch you. I'll watch you. I watch a lot of people, man, and I follow some people, man. You know what I mean? I don't follow a lot of people. I don't follow celebrities just because they celebrities. I don't do that shit. If I follow a person, it means some they content caught me, man. Some they said motivated me in a way. Some they doing I can reflect on about happening in my life. You feel me? That's just real shit. You feel me? People don't understand that, man. That's what life is about. I'm sitting there right now on my front porch, man, smoking. Finna fire my grill up, throw me a couple steaks and potatoes, some corn on that motherfucker. Sit back, and I'm gonna have a great motherfucking day, man. I ain't gotta be around no motherfucker. None of that shit, man. I'm blessed. I'm happy. You feel me? I'm happy. I can get in a car and go where I want to go, when I want to go, but I'm cool. Motherfucker be like, man, you got all these high dollar cars, and you just let them sit in the driveway. You don't drive them. I drive what I want to drive when I want to drive, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to see some people be so in a rush to run out there in the world. They run out there in the world to try to show off everything that they got going on, and they end up being in some bullshit. I don't want to go hang out in the hood just because all my homeboys from the hood, even though I can go sit in the hood all day if I want to, and I ain't talking about the projects. I got homeboys that own buildings and properties in North Nashville, and I can go out there and sit all motherfucking day and can't no police or no motherfucker come on private property. But then I also got to think about what else goes on in them situations that I don't want to put myself in, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm out of the game and out of the situation and then get put up in a situation where a motherfucker might be looking for somebody else and shoot them up. The police say tag you in because they think I got something going on with one of the motherfuckers around there when we just friends. You know what I mean? People don't understand this, man. I've been caught up in a conspiracy case before, man. And I was blessed by God that one of them niggas spoke up and said I ain't had nothing to do with what they had going on and took his charge. Real shit. He kept it real. I ain't had to say nothing. I went on to jail, made bond, went home, and went to court, and he told them folk the truth. You know what I mean? Because it was more than just him. It was about 30 motherfuckers, man. I was like, damn. And that came from me just walking up to an individual that I ain't seen in 20 years. And, hey, man, what's going on? I seen, man, whoa. And you know what I mean? You speak to a motherfucker, and the police seen me shake this nigga hand, and they think, they pulled me over, and I got 10 grand in my pocket. They talking about that's their money, and I know it ain't their money. I know it ain't the police money. This money is my money. This money didn't come from y'all. You know what I mean? But I lost 10 grand and probably $25,000 in lawyers and another about 17 grand in bond money that something I ain't had nothing to do with just because I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Just think if I didn't have the money to fight that and to be able to be free, I'd have really been fucked up. Just think if the nigga wouldn't have kept it hood and seen my name on it and told them folks, man, no, dude, had nothing to do with this. But he did. That nigga told them folks, man, he kept it real. He kept it real. He didn't tell on damn motherfucker, but he told them folks that I didn't have nothing to do with what was going on. You know what I mean? Because them folks would sit there. Them folks would sit there and try to put a case together, and you just became a part of that case by accident. By accident. You know what I mean? Just because you pulled up on a motherfucker, man. That's why I say association is the worst thing you could ever have, man. You got to watch who you associate yourself with, who you pull up with, who you're around, man. Because you never know who somebody might be following, man. You don't know if you look up in the sky and see a drone, that motherfucker ain't somebody playing in the neighborhood. That's the coppers, man. You know what I mean? You got to pay attention to everything going on around you, man. Because you could be watching everything around you and not even watching the motherfucker beside you, and that be the motherfucker that's doing it to you. That's real shit, man. You watching for every motherfucker around you, but the motherfucker laying in the bed next to you, or the motherfucking homeboy standing beside you, or your friend, or your brother, or your mama is the one that them folks is really out got their claws in and they getting you, man. I don't watch females wear wires and set cameras up in the houses for police to get their dues, man. I don't watch motherfuckers that got motherfuckers off dope, got them off dope, helped them, give them money, pay their bills, and that motherfucker still go get caught with a straight shooter and go bring the police back to your house. Out of all the shit you done for that motherfucker still bring the police to you and your family, man. It used to be like, man, the motherfucker say, man, you treat a motherfucker good, you ain't got to worry about them doing you bad. Shit. You could treat these motherfuckers. I see why some motherfuckers say, fuck these junkies, fuck these cluckers. But I ain't never been one of them type of people, man. Because, you know, I'm telling you this, what made me stop hustling in the streets is when you start seeing people suffer, people die. That shit horrible, man. Motherfucker used to say, man, you can't make no money off something that's killing people. And everything that's out in these streets that they selling, man, is killing people. You can't make no money off. You can't make no money with dead clients, man. You can't. And everything they selling out here killing folks, man. Don't no motherfucker want to be part of that bullshit. They don't want to be a part of that shit, man. A motherfucker, and if a motherfucker say they want to be selling shit that's knocking motherfuckers off, man, that motherfucker the devil. The devil. You know what I mean? Because I grew up in the crack era where people was like, you seen people lose drastic weight, face sunk in and shit like that, man. You watch that shit. But when you in that world and you see people that you know, that you care about, most motherfuckers don't give a fuck about the neighborhood clucker that's running around doing whatever, falling apart and dying. But everybody got a family member or a friend that they hate to see out there in the streets doing what they doing, man. They hate it. You know what I mean? They hate somebody say, you see such and such, you such and such. It might not even be a family member. It might just be a close friend that motherfucker went to school with, man. Somebody, when they were little, they used to play with. Somebody they used to tell their secrets to. You know what I mean? Now they out here saying this girl or this dude down here downtown walking around with dirty clothes and shit. You know what I mean? Talking to themselves. You wondering what happened, what went wrong. You feel me? But a lot of people don't realize that some people end up with problems because when they was younger, they was fucking with somebody and somebody put something in their drink. They smoked something that they shouldn't have been smoking. You know, that's why I say these young motherfuckers out here I know why they fucked up. I know why they fucked up. They're out here putting that F in their body. And that shit is like a bombshell. They had these folks out here snorting horse tranquilizers and shit, man. These folks smoking and shooting shit that animals can't even handle. Elephants. How the fuck they tell you that this thing right here, this drug is meant for putting elephants down where we can pull their teeth, but motherfuckers out here putting that shit in a blender and giving that motherfucker to a motherfucker, the average motherfucker ain't gonna weigh no more than about 150. I be seeing these folks be slumped over in these cars at red lights and standing up looking like zombies, and you know what I mean? That shit's sad, man. Shit's sad. It's sad. You know what I mean? It ain't like you used to have. You see old cluckers, old crackheads, but now you see motherfuckers 13, 14 years old that's already you can call cluckers and crackheads. Them folks look bad. Motherfucker 20 years old look like they fought it. Mouth rotting like a motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? That's why you can tell. That's how you can tell when them folks doing them bad drugs, man. They mouth all black, they skin look all dry. You know what I mean? Shit's sad. You know, and it's the worst thing. And people don't understand this. All these drugs that's out here right now, these drugs been here, man. Fentanyl been here way before these folks even started talking about it, man. You can go to the doctor and get a patch. It's a medication that somebody found out that you can put in a blender and make into more. That's the sad part about it. But even the doctor tell you you shouldn't be taking this shit for no longer than this period of time and this and that and this and that. They tell you that. You know what I mean? And I tell you the craziest thing that I used to hear people say when I was in the street, they used to holler out, man, I want that best. I want the shit that, I don't want no watered down shit. Man, I'm not finna say you nothing that's gonna knock you off, folks. I'm not gonna give you nothing that's gonna knock you off. That's why I knew the game had changed when motherfuckers started asking for something that was gonna knock them off. Fuck you think you gonna get me a murder charge, fool? I'm not doing that. Stay the fuck away from you. Stay the fuck away from you and that. I go shovel shit at the zoo before I let you motherfucker catch me fucking with that shit. Get me fucked up. Bad energy come from that shit, man. Anytime you dealing with death is bad energy. And when you talking about them fake pills and all that other shit, man, motherfuckers pop them motherfuckers at their own risk. And you know, people always say, well, and it's the thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say this, man. When you got grown ass motherfuckers that make a decision to go purchase something that they might die from, and they still go purchase it, and they die from that, they motherfucking fault, man. Them folk literally go get a motherfucker that sold it to them when a motherfucker didn't make them folk take it, man. I can understand if a motherfucker make a person take something. I give a person something that they know that's not what they paid for, then that person should be charged. But if a motherfucker walk up and buy something from somebody that know what it is and what the potential is going to do to them, and they still purchase it, take it, swallow it, smoke it, then that's on them, man. That's they stupidity. You know what I mean? But you have a lot of parents, mamas and daddies get online and they be like, well, if that drug dealer wouldn't have sold him, if your child, which was a grown person, 25, 26 years old, dealing with whatever problem they were dealing with, and they fell into the streets of drugs to try to deal with them issues, it's not the individual's fault. You can't blame all the problems because that same motherfucker that was taking them drugs might have been taking them to fight some demons that happened in your household. You don't know if they was molested by their daddy, or you was molesting them, or somebody's uncle, whatever demons they was fighting by trying to take them narcotics. That's what you need to deal with. But you want to shift all the blame on the motherfucker because you want to say, oh, he's the one. If he wouldn't have sold it, my son still be here. If he wouldn't have sold it, my daughter still be here. Who to say that? Because if he wouldn't have sold it, your daughter and your son would have went to somebody else. And they'd have went to somebody else. And they'd have went to somebody else. And eventually, people don't understand this. When God called you home, he called you home. Ain't no certain day or time, man. And if you playing Russian roulette with your life every time you break down a pill, then God gonna call you home quicker than you should be called home, man. That's just the truth. That's the truth. Man, like, subscribe my page. I gave y'all about a good hour and 30 minutes of straight content, man. Enjoy y'all day. Grind hard. Don't let no motherfucker get in your way. Keep that Roman candle ready in case somebody playing them games. Go out there in the world. Try to put good energy in the world. Stay away from these young coward motherfuckers, old stupid motherfuckers. Anybody that ain't motivated to get no money, get the fuck away from them folks. Stay the fuck away from them folks. I don't give a fuck if they your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother. If they ain't on the same motivation level to get no money as you, man, get the fuck away from them folks. Stay away from them folks. Man!